Hi everyone, it's Amber Myers. Today I'm going to share with you my online teaching module 7. I decided to use a Prezi. I haven't used this in a while. It's something I used back in my undergrad at Millersville, and I really like how user-friendly it is, and it's just a different way to display a presentation. So we can start off with my philosophy about online teaching. So my philosophy of teaching is just always creating that welcoming environment for diverse learners, whether it's in person or online. I want to have lots of modeling and give clear expectations for what I'm expecting from my students. I like that there's a flexible schedule and also a flexible style of learning with the online teaching approach, and there's lots of opportunities for collaboration. A quote that stuck out to me from the national standards was, "The online teacher demonstrates professional responsibilities in keeping with the best practices of online instruction." So no matter whether you're in person or online, you still need to be a professional in all aspects of teaching. If we look at how I'm utilizing that in my classroom, how I'm embodying this philosophy, I do a lot of buddy reading, sharing times, giving my students opportunities to share so that I can get to learn more about them and their interests. We do a morning greeting every day when they walk in the door. There's a poster that they get to either pick hug, high five, handshake, fist bump. I even have a few students from my past years still come down the hallway to get their morning greeting from me. It's just something they need, I guess, to get their day set. I do a lot of brain breaks and transitions. It's helpful. Flexible seating options, open communication with parents. We use an app called Class Dojo where I post pictures on their daily of their children in the classroom, what they're doing throughout the day. And it's a great platform for also communicating back and forth. Another quote that stuck out to me was from Danielson's framework for remote teaching. Make individual contact with every parent or family to establish a communication plan, including the mode and cadence of ongoing communication. That's something I really take good pride in, is every year at the beginning of the year is reaching out to all my parents those first few weeks of school, just to kind of reintroduce myself if they weren't at back to school night, and just to kind of check in to see how their child is liking school so far and if they're enjoying coming each day. Next up is the social and emotional well-being. Online and in person, I do a lot of frequent check-ins, thumbs up, thumbs down, in the middle if you're unsure, morning greetings. Creating a sense of classroom community is really important to me. I read this story every year. Our class is a family, and I reiterate to my kids that I spend more time with them than I do with my own family at home. And so for the time being, we are a family, and we really create that sense of, backing each other up and always being there for each other when they're down. So that is really important to me. Some SEL strategies that I learned and utilize are check-ins. They can be done virtually through the video screen or digitally with a send and response. It was neat learning through some of you guys, like different ways that you were operating that digitally. Like some of you had like emojis and different ways for them to check in that way. And I really enjoyed learning different ways to utilize that. Giving specific praise and motivation for my students. Student interaction and collaboration, giving them sharing time and show and tell time. Every Monday I really make it a part of our routine that we're going to share, what we did over the weekends, or like on Fridays, what are some things they're looking forward to doing over the upcoming weekend. I really like to check in that way with them. Student control in their learning is important, having a flexible schedule with online learning. That was heavily read upon in Chapter 4. And providing choice in projects, not only, project-based, learning, but in any aspect, you want to provide choice for them to have, some control and ownership in their learning. Next up is the aha moments. So I was looking at, in Chapter 3, students with disabilities are entitled to the same rights in all public schools, regardless of whether the school is traditional, charter, or virtual, or some combination. That was something that really, again, was apparent to me in these readings, was, the accessibility, the UDL, Universal Design for Learning, blended learning, and Danielson framework. Again, There are things I did learn about in my undergrad, but it's nice to rehear them again and learn about the importance of making everything accessible for our learners. With accessibility, not only PowerPoints and Word documents, but learning that we need to be more mindful of how we are presenting our information and making sure it's accessible for everyone. Not only the students in our class, but also, parents at home. Looking at the fonts and color contrast is just an example of something we need to be aware of. With the UDL approach, speech to text benefits many, not only students who may have a difficult disability with either fine motor skills with typing or hearing. Those utilities that we can use really benefit all students. I'm using them in my second grade classroom just because it's helpful, and they're getting the task done that needs to be completed. So using those kind of tools that benefit everyone. Blended learning, that was something that also stood out to me in our last chapter, our last module. I didn't really see having like daily 3, for example, our math rotation, math with someone, math with by myself, and math with technology being a blended learning style approach, which I didn't realize that, but that's something I really want to use this year in my math class at the end of the day in second grade. Danielson's framework for remote teaching was another aha moment for me. I didn't realize there was this framework and rubric for online teaching. Well, there is no rubric, but instead it really does give support and guidance. And I like that it's a fluid layout for online teaching because it is so new and current. We're still learning the ins and outs of it and what is expected. And then last but not least, how has the class informed the work that I'm currently doing? So I'm currently in second grade. I just started this grade. It's all new to me, but I like that I am able to utilize some of the things in this specific class, Act 630, into my classroom already. Giving more student choices and accessibility for all is really 2 things that really kind of stood out to me. The quote with Kolaski and Carver from 2016, overall, when students enjoy the learning environment, they are more likely to experience success. And that is something I really strive every day. I want my students to feel comfortable. I want them to feel, that this is a place where they are going to learn and also make mistakes. And, we're all together as a family. So that's something that really stands out to me and is important. The readings that have really opened my eyes, chapter 5, where it really talked about collaboration and building community. It gave great examples of how to utilize it in the classroom right there. In chapter 2, with Graham et al. 2019, it talked about online integration with blended learning. That's one that I really thought, I was like, oh wow, yeah, I want to do daily 3 stations, and it brought to light, how important that is and how we can use technology in different ways, not just as a replacement, but as a creative mode in different outlets. And then again, the online accessibility handbook was really beneficial to see and to practice and going over some of my PowerPoints and documents to see if they really were accessible or not. Some activities that are going to make their way into my classroom, some already have. The collaborative tools such as Padlet, that was one I studied, and I even practiced it in my class as like a kind of exit ticket. Rotation stations with Math Daily 3, as I was explaining before. Check-ins with emotions, I really liked that concept and would like to try to get that in there as well. Student song choice, I remember someone posted this, that each morning, they share one of the songs and then the students share why they picked that song. I think that's a great way to get to learn, more background about your students' lives. And Canva for creating posters and visuals, not only in the classroom, but also for pushing out things to parents, maybe upcoming activities or parties that we have planned. It's a great way to kind of share information in an accessible format. Well, thank you guys for sharing. I know I learned and have taken away a lot from this class, and I hope you have too.